Hey everyone, and welcome to Sasquatch Theory. In today's interview, we have Brooklyn from Ohio, and he wanted to share his Bigfoot encounters that he had in the past, and he wanted to talk about some of the experiences that he's had on the family farm. Ohio State is notorious for Bigfoot encounters, and there's a lot of strange things happening in that region of the United States, including Indiana, Pennsylvania. So, for some reason, there's a lot of stuff going on in Ohio, and I find it strange that you can find the Serpent Mound there, and there's something deeper going on that we're not being told. What do you guys think the connection is between Sasquatch and these ancient burial mounds, if there is one? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys can, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you have a Bigfoot encounter that you would like to share with me here on Sasquatch Theory, please contact me at sasquatchtheory@outlook.com. Alright guys, let's dive straight into Brooklyn's Bigfoot encounters from Ohio here on Sasquatch Theory. All right, Brooklyn, welcome to Sasquatch Theory. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great, sir. And how about you, Miguel?
I am doing excellent. Thank you so much for asking. Brooklyn, if you would, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your Bigfoot encounters and experiences from the very beginning, please.
All right, buddy. My name's Brooklyn Beavers. I'm from Southern Ohio. It's a little town called Latham. In between Latham and Jasper is where I hail from. It's back then, I'm gonna give it around 84, 85 summer. This was a crush and run road. They called it a single road. Not a whole lot of traffic, but everyone that's on that road you knew for sure. Anyways, getting into the story, me and my sister was home one evening because my mom and my stepdad had stepped out. I think they used to bowl back in. I was young. I didn't really pay attention to that. But my sister used to sneak and smoke. She's probably going to kill me if she hears this. So to keep her from telling, she'd give me a little puff. And we were standing by the front door. Standing by the front door of our little trailer we lived in. And it was dark out. And the moon was shining down across the field from the back of the woods and across the field. And we just, like I said, she was, smoking. We was talking, and I don't know who said something first or what, but all I remember is I looked and I seen this thing standing there, and it was right in the moonlight. I mean, it was like a comic book. I kid you not when I say this. It was like a comic book. Someone had drew Bigfoot like in the shadow of the moon. Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I mean, looking at it now, that's what it put me in the mind of. And we screamed bloody murder, and because we had the porch light off, that's how good you could see out. And we screamed bloody murder, and this thing took off, getting it up toward our neighbor's house, which is probably, I don't know, maybe a third of a mile, maybe. And I mean, that's pretty much the encounter that I had, what I seen. But it was just weird how things stick with you. I mean, the detail, you might not be able to make the face and stuff out, but you can always remember exactly what happened and not how the day or the night was.
Yeah. And what could you see from the window? Could you see glowing eyes?
Well, that's on through. Yeah, this encounter here, we was leaning out the door, but later, and I'm almost positive it was after this. Now, don't hold me to it because I couldn't tell you for sure. My bedroom was toward the end of the trailer, and they always set up front, like my mom and my stepdad, because I have to go to bed for school and stuff. But I don't know, it might have been summer. All I know is that when I had looked over my bed, I had like something tapping, and I turned around, and all I seen was these two red eyes. And I'm not gonna say this was a dream because it's been a memory of mine since I've been a child, and it scared me so bad I couldn't even scream. I just covered my head up and I prayed, and heard little ticking at my window. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. Do you think the red eyes were a Bigfoot?
I mean, I don't know. I don't. It
Mm.
just all I know is it scared the bejesus out of me. I mean, they say that because it was like red, almost glowing red. You know what I mean?
Was there a reflection on the eyes, or do you think they were self illuminated?
Well, I couldn't tell you, but I do know this that the bathroom was right next to my room. I remember this plain as day, and I'd always leave that door cracked a little bit with that bathroom light on, and it kind of shone. When you opened it up, it would illuminate the window for sure. But I mean, I don't think it was. I mean, I think it was self-illuminated myself, from what I can remember. I don't think the light cast that.
Yeah, I hear from other people that their eyes will self illuminate, and maybe it's some type of bioluminescence, kind of like deep sea fish.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Some of them fish you pull out of the water, they glow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what else happened after these incidents?
What happened after the incidents? Well, I mean, like you just want like another my I could tell you a story about my aunt and my cousin. Like I can't give names.
Yeah, that's fine, and just use as much
Okay.
detail as possible.
Okay. This is the same thing. Same area. I mean, this was in '71, I believe. She told me. This, if you would, if where I think I'd seen Sasquatch when I was younger. If right where he was standing, if he'd have pointed his left hand, you could see my aunt's house in '71. That's how close these encounters are. Um, of course, I wasn't born yet, but my aunt and my cousin was playing, and actually, my stepdad's that was my stepdad's house when he was younger. But his sister was outside playing in the yard, my aunt and my cousin, and she said the only thing she knows she's seen a wisp of something fly by, and she looked up and it was solid white. That's what uh, that always got me. This one was white, and she said, and my cousin seen it too. Said it peeked behind the barn and ran, and then took off walking or didn't run. It took off walking really fast because she ran and don't hold me to this, but I do believe that she said either Ronnie, my stepdad, which he don't care about his name being mentioned, or their brother ran up to, in time to see it too. But I didn't. I haven't talked to him about it or whoever, whichever one's seen it. And but they swear to it, and they're both upstanding citizens. They're both well. What my aunt's retired, and my cousin he can retire anytime. Just sane people, and still to this day tell the same story.
Yeah, so this white Sasquatch went through the yard and hid behind the barn. Is that correct?
Yes, she said she saw a glimpse of something, and it walked up and peeked behind the barn. And when each of them knew, I guess, when they seen each other, it took off toward the field at a fast pace. It did not run. She said it took off at a very fast gait, and she said it was about 7 feet tall.
Yeah, that is very interesting. What kind of field was it? Like, was it a cornfield?
Some years it was corn, some years it was soybean, and then all of a sudden it just stopped being planted, and it was, I don't know what they was doing. I think they had moved the people uh, who lives there, had lived there for a long time. I think they had moved now, so I couldn't tell you what it is now.
Yeah, I wonder what the Sasquatch was up to. Maybe the corn is a food source for him.
Uh, I mean, it could have been. You're right, but I know that night I seen him, the corn wasn't up. It was the field was clean, but I couldn't tell you about '71. It could have very well been planted back then. So, and that is, I mean, I believe they'll eat corn. I mean, horses do.
Yeah, and the deer love it. So maybe if they're seeking the deer, they'll find them in the
Yeah,
corn.
true. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a good place to hide, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, some of that corn got 6, 7 feet tall at times.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, I was catching up, and I was looking on that BFRO, and there had been 4 sightings, I believe, since 19 4 5 sightings since like 1991 or something like that. I mean, and that's actually pretty recent compared to mine, you know.
Yeah, and this is in the same area.
Yes, all of it, except for one's more toward Chillicothe, which is about 20 miles away from my house. But the rest of them's within like 5 miles. I mean, one actually mentioned Latham. That's what's crazy. Said it walked right out in broad daylight
Yeah, that's awesome.
off of 124. Yeah, that is awesome. Said they was out there burning trash and it stepped out from behind a tree. Him and his girlfriend was out, or wife or girlfriend, I don't know which one, but both seen it.
Yeah,
That's what gets me
I
during the
wonder.
day.
I wonder if there's a connection with Sasquatch and UFOs. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I've thought about it and I've heard people's opinions on stuff like that. I mean, who am I? Who am I to say anything? You know, I mean, it could very well happen. It might not. It might not. I mean, we got a lot to learn in this world, I believe, about a lot of things. You know, and people say, "Oh, that can't happen." And how do you know that can't happen? How do you know? I mean, really, you know,
Hmm. Have you ever seen a UFO
that's
out there?
now I haven't, but my best buddy did. He's seen one fishing off at the side of the river down there, catfishing one night, and he was a very good friend of mine. He's no longer with us, but he told me this story, man. When he told this story, his face changed. I mean, really, it changed. I mean, you could tell he meant what he was saying about this thing. He said he kept watching it getting closer and bigger and closer and bigger. And he said it was like you could reach out and almost, touch it. It was like the moon sitting there like hovering, looking at him. He said, no, it was looking at us because we had a fire. He said, then it just took off. It never spun. It just shot backwards, just going.
Yeah, that is
He meant that.
interesting.
I believe him when he tells me. I mean, like I said, I've never seen one, but I do believe in him. I believe there's something there.
Yeah. And have you ever had a paranormal encounter?
Well, I mean, kinda, I guess. But I mean, I don't know if it's paranormal. I mean, I've told my family about it, but I mean, why you want to hear that one?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'd well, my great 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 uncle Lafayette Leeper built this house that my mom and my stepdad purchased, and we moved in there when I was about, I'd say about 14 or 15, and it's a creepy house, man. Big old house. Real sawmill built home. Sturdy, real 2x6s, and stuff like that. Real made with real wood. And yeah, I was laying on the couch one night, and in the living room, and there was a big bay picture window right there, and there was a rocking chair sitting there, and Mom wouldn't let me keep the TV on, so she'd shut the TV off, and I'd have to lay there. So I remember laying there one night, and I just about ready to go to sleep, man. I heard that rocking chair squeaking. I just kind of opened one eye, and it was rocking back and forth, and I thought, what? I sat up real quick, and I mean, it stopped instantly, instantaneously. I was like, man, come on, there's a draft or something. I laid back down, and it did it again, and I told Mom about it the next day. After that, it didn't do it, but I told her about the next day. She said it had to be a draft or something, but that's about as close as I came to paranormal, but it always stuck in my head. What made that chair rock like that?
Yeah, that is freaky. I recently did an investigation here in Missouri, and the guy claims he had some Bigfoot activity, but he also had a haunted cabin way back in the woods, and he claims that the rocking chair outside would be going back and forth like someone was sitting in it. And apparently, it was the lady that used to own the property from back in the day. She owned the rocking chair, and they never wanted to get rid of it, and they let it sit there.
I mean, I guess spirits to get attached to something. I mean, I don't know. I'm a Christian. I am. I try to be. I mean, but when I say things like that, my older sister gets kind of upset. You know what I mean? Demons, demons, demons. I don't believe everything's demons. I believe they are out there for sure. Absolutely. You know, it says we fight against principalities, that we can't even see. So I don't know. It's just I believe there's spirits out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can get on YouTube and watch paranormal researchers, and the things that they film and record, I mean, kind of proves that it's going on, and you just hear stories from all over the world, and I don't know why it's not more open.
I
Or
think it is like a real taboo, like Bigfoot.
it is, and it's sad just because that kind of proves that there is life after death, and people will just brush it off. I guess because they want to deny it and not believe because they
Yeah,
haven't had any experiences.
and I see it kind of against. It goes kind of against the religion, the religion that I'm in. It kind of does. But I mean, how can I explain that? How can anybody explain that to me? Because I know all them ain't demons. There's actually a child tells you where its body is. You go and find it, and you never knew this kid or knew nothing about it. There's something up with that, you know. I mean, I went to a guy's house clear up in Maine, and we did a hunt up or a search up there of his home. I mean, I watched him for 4 years constantly, and I met him. And this little girl kept whispering in his ear to go in the basement. He never believed in nothing like that, man. Nothing. Finally, he said, I've had enough. And I went down there and I started digging. I found a bone, found another bone. And to find out this little girl, you just have to watch it. I have to give it to you after, if you want to know what I'm talking about and watch it, man, from the beginning. It'll hook you quick. It's about 5 years of this guy's life, man.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. What movie is it?
Well, it's an actual YouTube channel. It says Sky. His kids got him to do it and started documenting, and it got pretty big, man. I went and met him and everything. It's about his house. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it's about. When then he gets into the town, and come to find out, this whole town's like uh, some kind of cult. And it's crazy, man. You got to watch it.
Yeah, and
I mean,
whenever you
it's
went
this
to his
guy's life.
place, what did you experience anything there?
Yeah, I did see the closet wiggle. The alarm went off. What do you call them alarms? Like EMF detectors.
Mm-hmm.
It went off. It was on his kitchen table, and he had went around the corner to get something. As soon as he did that, I thought I'd seen a shadow, and that door handle wiggled, and I seen it. And I hollered at him. I was like, "Kent, get in here, man! Something just happened." He's like, "What happened? What happened?" I said, "Man, I swear I saw a shadow, and that door handle just wiggled right in front of me." And he was freaking out. He's like, "Really, man? Did you get it?" And I was like, "Well, I think I got it on my phone. I was videoing." So I sent him all that stuff, and he goes through it, and he actually included it in one of his shows, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's terrifying, and
That is, I
it,
mean, it freaks you out.
it's good that he's documenting it, but I used to try to do the same
Yeah,
thing until it started getting pretty bad, and I was like, all right, I feel like by documenting it, I'm kind of messing with it, so I just kind of let it be.
yeah, I did too. I did the same thing.
Hmm.
Since became a Christian, I just stopped doing that. I don't care to watch them and stuff, but I'm not going to invite it.
Something bad
Yeah, that
might
stuff right
happen.
there. Yeah, you don't know. You could invite something in. I mean, if you get deep into it,
Hmm.
you never know what you invite in. I mean, no one does.
Yeah, we just mainly
It's
use
usually
the
not good.
EMF detector and kind of ask questions, trying to get it to spike. But I mean, as far as like playing with
I
Ouija
got you.
boards and things like that, we won't do that.
No, I won't. I won't even look at a Ouija board. But I got you. Yeah, that's kind of like what I used to do. Just go to the graveyards and take my phone and talk and try to catch something.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Okay, so going
but I'm
back
not
to
much of a
the
storyteller, man.
what's that?
Huh? I'm not much of a storyteller, man. I just never could tell a good story to make it last. You know what I mean? I just kind of get right to the point and tell it. But yeah, I wish I could do better on telling a story.
No, no, you're fine, and I think you're doing an excellent job. So going back to the encounter where you and your sister saw like this figure, what do you think its intentions were?
I mean, the way I look at it now, I think it was curious. I do. Seeing us stand outside the door talking, uh, on the board or whatever, however they look at us, two different things. Just stand there kind of looking at us. Didn't make no noise. We just happened to look up whoever seen it first and seen it. And then it, freaked out and ran off. So, I mean, I think it was just curious. If they wanted to do something, they could have did. They could have come up there after we screamed or before.
Yeah, it almost seems like they knew that your parents weren't home.
Almost, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, who knows? You never know. It could have been watching us for a while. I was always in those woods. Growing up, man, I was in those woods every day. Me and my dog, every day I was in those woods, and I don't remember ever seeing anything
Yeah.
besides that one time.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder how many times they've watched you guys.
I mean, truly, because they like they say, they know you're there before you ever even have an inkling they're there around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of frightening to know that something was watching you at nighttime. Were you guys pretty scared? I mean, I think you said you were scared the bejesus out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty shocking. We knew everybody, but ain't like we was best friends with them, or like on a daily, we waved at each other when they went past or something, and some of them was kind of creepy. I mean, something like that, and you don't know who or what it is. It scares you, especially when you see something standing over across the, road across the fence.
Yeah.
It was about probably say 30 feet from where we were standing, 35 feet. I mean, it wasn't a whole. I don't know. We had a little yard, and then just that one lane road, a little teeny ditch with a fence, and it stood right there. I'd say I would give it about 40 to 50 yards, about 50 yards, I'd say.
Yeah. And how well could you see it?
I mean, the outline I seen real good.
Mm-hmm.
The intricate details is what I don't know.
Yeah. And you said the moon was out that night? It was kind of lit up?
It, right behind it, that's how it just illuminated. That's why I said it looked like it come out of a comic book, really. Yeah, the moon was full and bright. I remember that night.
Yeah. I hear they like to come out whenever the moon is bright, whenever it's a full moon. And I mean, I hear the same thing about like white-tailed deer, that they'll move even during the daytime when it's a full moon.
I mean, there's something about it. Yeah, the animals know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, deer move with it. A lot of animals move with the moon and and the sun, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think these creatures are?
Well, I think it's something that is related to the original apes, I guess. Gigantopithecus, I'm guessing, and they're just they're really super intelligent. I believe that. They kind of, they kind of have human qualities and characteristics if you listen to people sometimes. I mean, I don't think they're a stupid breed, just like swing from tree to tree. I think I think it's flesh and blood. I do believe that too. Like I said, as far as disappearing and reappearing, I don't know about none of that. And who am I to say if it would or wouldn't? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. You know,
Yeah. So, do you think there's a large population of them living in Ohio?
I do. I mean, I think there's quite a few. You know, like I said, I've been kind of looking at the encounters around, and yeah, either their migratory pattern comes through there, or there's some that stay there all the time, kind of around that vicinity. I'm telling you, it's very lush out there. I mean, they've kind of select cut a few hills here and there, or not select cut it, but clear cut it a few hills here lately. But that's pretty vast out there.
Yeah, it really
You
is.
can get lost if you don't know where you're at.
I wonder if this activity has something to do with like the serpent mound. Like, maybe there's giants buried underneath it, and it seems like there was something going on there in the ancient days.
Have you ever been to Serpent Mound?
No, I just see it on TV and it makes me wonder.
Yeah, yeah. I went there a couple years ago before work, actually a couple times, and yeah, it's pretty weird, man. I went out there and meditated, and, tried to just do something different. I was trying to get healthy, and everybody said, "Oh, meditate, meditate." So I went out there and meditated. And, I mean, I myself didn't feel anything out there, but it's a very cool place. Uh, I don't know, man. Indians, they're a whole different breed in themselves as well. I mean, they've got beliefs and and magic and different things. I don't know. I've heard a lot about Serpent Mound, but I've never really experienced anything out there.
Yeah, and being a local from the area, have you ever heard of Serpent Mound being connected to like the giants, the Nephilim, UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, anything like that?
Uh, Now I've heard about UFOs coming out that way. Now, as far as cryptids or anything like that, no, sir, I have not. But yeah, UFOs definitely. I've heard, that people seen them out there. Uh, like who live around the vicinity or whatever. Because there's a bunch of houses around there. There's a penitentiary right there, right across the road. Um, yeah, people talk about that, about seeing UFOs out that way.
Yeah, that is interesting. Um, for those who are listening, this is our second time doing the podcast. I accidentally deleted it the first time, but Brooklyn, I recall you talking about the penitentiary last time. Um, is that something you want to go into?
I mean, as far as what?
I don't
I'm an
know.
open book, brother.
Have you ever experienced any paranormal activity in the penitentiary?
Uh, Now I haven't, but where I used to work, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on TV. I used to work at a penitentiary, and they had a riot there a while back, and it was a pretty bad one. But even before that, I guess down in the basement of this penitentiary, the floor below the main floors where the cells are, you used to have to go down there at night, and everybody say, be careful. You got to go to each corner, which you lose light. And this penitentiary is huge, gigantic. I mean, it's like when you do this, it takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours to do all this by yourself in that basement. Like I said, I never experienced nothing down there really, but a lot of people said they did. They heard keys jingling, people running. Uh, I'd seen. Oh wait, I did see one at a penitentiary. I forgot about that one, Miguel. I did seen a shadow come off the back wall at another penitentiary I was at. Uh, this was the oldest part of this institution. This block was, and I guess there had been an inmate killed up there uh, years ago, and they'd always talked about it and always talked about it. And I was there 3 years, and they started putting me there a lot at night because I worked night shift, and it's quiet up there at night. You're supposed to be quiet, and something just kept my attention over, and as soon as I glanced, I just seen like a black flash. I mean, it was like instantaneous. I don't know if I had blinked. You know what I mean? How you second guess yourself? Did I blink longer than usual? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I mean, I think it was a shadow. So, but sorry, jumping off the base. Uh, the other penitentiary, the guys would try to talk their friend to going down and doing it. They didn't want to do it. They'd have to pay their friends. People didn't want to start going, go back down there in that basement and do the rounds down there. So yeah, there's you hear all kinds of stuff,
Yeah, there's got
especially
to be a
inside.
lot of
People who go
negative
there.
energy there.
Oh, you'd think so, yeah. Especially after that riot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
The
mean, what happens every day? What happens every day there? I mean, really. It's a whole different world inside a penitentiary day to day than it is out here. What you would expect.
Yeah, that drive me mad being in there.
Now it's almost I was almost had 8 years in these penitentiaries combined, and I hated every minute of it. When I first started, the first couple years was fun, but after that, man, it would just you just start the things you see, the people you meet, what you got to deal with from day to day. You know what I mean? Working doubles all the time. Nobody wanted to work. Yeah, it was just a bad experience for me, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you got out, and I'm sure life is better
Absolutely.
now.
Oh, absolutely, brother. It's a sunny day out now.
Yeah. So, have you went back to the area where you had these encounters at, where your aunt saw the white Sasquatch? Do you plan on doing research there or just looking around?
Uh, Now I mean I've been back to that place several times. I hunt rabbit there a lot. Uh, I mean, I think someone else lives there now. I haven't been down there in probably about 5, 6 years, but yeah, I used to rabbit hunt that all the time. Uh, I mean, we can get in there and do anything. All we can, I can get us all over them hillsides. A lot of it's private property, but I can get us in there. If you ever wanted to come down, brother, you're more than welcome.
Well, I appreciate that. That would be really cool if I can get some people from Ohio to interview that are somewhat in
Oh
the
yeah,
same area. I'd definitely
I can
contact
put that
you.
together.
Yeah.
I can put that together for you.
Okay. Yeah, if you can get some
Yeah,
people to go on film and talk about their Sasquatch encounters, I think it'd be worth it.
yeah. I mean, I could probably talk to my aunt. I don't know if she would, but maybe my cousin. And then the other ones that don't live too far. Hopefully, they're still around. And, you know,
Okay.
I'll get the word out. I'll get the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. And just let me know in the future, and we'll put it together. I'll fly up there, and we'll look
Okay.
around and talk about Sasquatch.
Yeah, sounds good to me, brother. Hey, where are you from again?
I'm from Central Missouri.
Central Missouri. Okay, okay. Yeah, I knew it was up that way a little bit. I was just there a couple months ago.
Yeah, what part?
I don't even know. Brother, I'm in a different state every day.
Yeah, you probably went through I
Every
forty
single day.
four. You passed right by my area, maybe, or maybe it was I-70.
I'm not sure. Like I said, honestly, I just follow that GPS, and man, I'm just everywhere every day. Like yesterday, I was in. Where was I at yesterday? I was in Ohio yesterday. Now I'm in Minnesota, St. Paul.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're all over the place, so maybe you'll see a Sasquatch from the road driving trucks.
I'd love to see one. I really would. Another one. I really and truly would. I wish God would bless me with that.
Yeah.
One he already has, of course, but I'd love to see that. I really would.
It would either be a blessing or a curse depending on how you take it.
I think it'd be a blessing. I've heard some people say it'd be a curse because it scared them so bad, but I think just to see one out in the wild, just like running across the road up into the trees, I just think it'd be something that you've seen. You know for sure you've seen that. No matter who believes you, you know what you saw.
Yeah, that's right.
Not too many people can say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever have another encounter or an experience again in the future, definitely reach out to me. I'd like to hear about it because sometimes, these things follow people throughout their life, and these people with experiences continue to have experiences.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. That'd be. I mean, honestly, I heard about one not too long ago. I was listening to a different show. I can't remember what it's called, but and this guy talked about that, and it happened all his life, and it was never mean. It was just always like, "Hey, I'm here." And I guess he went out back one time, and uh, that one had given birth, I guess, and kind of let him see the kid and everything. I mean, that's something. That's something. This happened all his life, and for you get to see a kid, I mean, really, what wild animal does that? Not too many. I mean, a horse or a cow or something, but
Hmm.
not a gorilla. I think that's what it was. But, yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, neither do I, but I'm trying to figure it out, and hopefully we can put the
Yeah.
pieces of the puzzle together and figure
Yep.
figure out at least
Yep.
kind of what's going on, because it seems like everyone that I've spoken with since I started this channel, no one really seems to know what it is. Some people think it's Nephilim, some people think it's demonic, most people think it's an unknown primate living out there. Some, have some wild theories, but no one really seems to
Everybody's
know.
got their belief.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said no one really seems to know, but yeah, everybody has their own belief and, their own speculation.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
In the name of science, do you think one ought to be brought to the table?
I think if there's a rogue one out there that's terrorizing people, killing dogs, and possibly
Hmm.
taking people, yeah, I think that one should be put down in the name of science.
Well, do you believe the government knows about them? Because I do. I surely do.
Yeah, I think they know about them. I don't think they know everything about them, but I believe they're studying them and they know a lot more than us.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I believe they've known about them for a long time. Yeah, that would change. That would change everything. It really and truly would. I believe it would change everything. The housing market, the wood, all your protesters. I mean, it would be a shock to the world if they actually brought one. The government said, "Here is a Sasquatch. Here's what we refer to as a Sasquatch. There they are, real." It would change everything.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they'll never tell us anything.
No, that's why we got to be pioneers and patriots, brother.
That's right. It's all about being a patriot and standing up for your fellow man, and
Absolutely.
that's all we can
In your
do.
country.
Hmm.
Yep. I believe that. I really do. I believe we're supposed to look out for each other, no matter what color, no matter what you believe. We're still supposed to look out for each other. You know.
Yeah. Well, I hope this podcast helps other people out, and hopefully, whoever
I do
listens
too.
to this will chime in if they've had a Bigfoot encounter in that same area where you guys have seen things at.
Yeah, I hope so too, buddy. I really do. I like to see your show blossom. Like I said, it could be therapy to somebody later. We don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like to see your show blossom, man. You're a good guy, and I like what you do.
Well, I appreciate that, Brooklyn. You're a good guy too, and yeah, again, I apologize we had to do this for a second time, but it was good to talk to you again and kind of pick your brain.
Yeah, I apologize for not being the best storyteller. I'm not Burl Ives, so I apologize for that, and your listeners. So,
Oh, that's no problem, and I think you did an excellent job. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Any questions for me? Anything before we end it?
uh, I mean, not right offhand. I can't think of anything.
Okay.
But if you ever got anything for me, you're more than welcome to call anytime. Text, hey, I'm gonna call you in 5 minutes, and okay. That way I'll be ready.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me. And like I said, if I ever get a big story from Ohio, or if you want to get together, I'll contact you if I know I'm going up there. But yeah, if you get enough people together, we can just make some plans, meet up, and
Absolutely.
do some filming.
Yep, absolutely. I got some buddies. We're gonna start doing a little BFROing on our own. We're talking about it. We're rolling around our noggins right now, so maybe we can get something all going together. So I'll let you in on it as soon as everybody tells me what's happening.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me. And be careful out there on the road. Get one of those dash cams in case Bigfoot walks across your vehicle.
I have one. I just forget to plug it in.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. It's going to happen, and you're not going to have it plugged in, man.
That's usually the way it is. I've had I had 3 cameras on me, and I forgot. And that's what you'll hear.
Yeah.
And that's about the truth.
Yeah.
All
Anytime I
right,
had
brother.
my
Well, listen,
encounters, I forget to bring my camera, and it's like that's when it happens, when you're not ready.
it's like they almost know.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
he ain't
is.
got a camera. Give him a wink.
Yeah.
Throw something at him.
Right.
Scare him. Scare the shit out of him.
That's how it goes, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
Brooklyn, you did an excellent job, and thank you again for taking the time to tell your encounters here on Sasquatch Theory. And keep in touch, my friend.
Hey, no problem. Right back at you. I appreciate it. Take care, Miguel.
All right, you take care, and God bless, my friend.
All right, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Brooklyn, thank you very much for sharing your Bigfoot encounters and experiences with me here on Sasquatch Theory, and it certainly does sound like a spooky place to be. I can only imagine that the Sasquatch like to travel through the area, and there's probably waterways all over the place, and they're moving in and out of the area, and there's food sources there as far as deer, turkey, corn, soybeans, and many other things. But what I don't get is why a supernatural being would need to eat, and it just doesn't really make sense. But at the same time, Jesus needed to eat. God came down and ate food with Abraham and his angels, so I guess supernatural beings get hungry too. It's really hard to say, but it just makes me think that the spiritual realm is more real and physical than our realm. We would have to ask ourselves the question, could a supernatural being be taken as a specimen? Could they be put down with a firearm and taken in to be studied? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. I think that's a really touchy subject because we don't really know. There are reports of people taking these things in the past, as far as Daniel Boone and many other people, but where are the bodies? A lot of people ask that, and it's a really tough question to answer, but we do know that these things are certainly out there roaming the forest. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast if possible, and if you guys want to further support the channel, you can purchase some merchandise on my Spreadshop website, and you'll see a link to that in the description below. If you have a Bigfoot or cryptid encounter that you would like to share with me, please contact me at sasquatchtheory@outlook.com. I really appreciate everyone for listening and tuning in to the show. Take care and be safe out there in the woods.